AITA for impulsively locking my boyfriend out without any more talk after he tries to move in. Advice needed. My mate F39, boyfriend, Mike M38, of 3.5 years, and I had been trying to work in an LD relationship. This is my last semester dealing with the first phase of a startup that took blood, sweat, and tears to bootstrap. The next phases will not be as hard or difficult, and what's most important is that I have secured a few long-term contracts and the funds. I temporarily moved out of state for this. When I met Mike, we became inseparable. Neither of us is original from where I met him. I developed my career in that state. I'm very dedicated to my family and my career, and resisted dating, but he was charming and funny, and I became very attached. I wasn't thinking about finding a partner, but our chemistry changed my mind. We hit a snag almost 2 years ago because Mike became anxious about my career, and it's partially my fault. I was so happy that I was making progress that I impulsively promised him a scooter bike when my finances allowed it. It was supposed to be a birthday present. He took me up on my word, which is fine. But 1, it was supposed to be when I could, and 2, he started out with enthusiasm, but ended up pressuring me to the point where I felt that he was with me for the freebie, and I ended up snapping. He apologized and stopped, and only mentioned it as a joke every so often. I have been taking some long-distance clients when my schedule allows it. I charge an accommodation rate. He knows this, and I work my best to save some of that money. This is how I've been able to stay afloat and sleep at night, knowing that I have money in the bank aside from my regular revenue. This is important. I was awarded a grant that I would have preferred to keep private, but they announced it on their social media, and I had people congratulating me on my profile, and Mike saw it. I had to explain that grants are not piggy bank money, but a means to support my work. I left for my present location 8 months ago. It's the last big push for the project, and my team and I are both exhausted and excited. My parents noticed that I'm tired all the time and offered to take my kids for this school semester. I'm grateful for this, because what I'm doing is to build a future, and childcare isn't easy or cheap. So I travel and do video calls every day. Mike and I managed to keep the relationship as he drove to see me every few weeks. 3 weeks ago, Mike showed up by surprise. I was thrilled. We focused on making memories as he said he would stay for 3 days. Then he pushed his leaving date. Don't get me wrong, I care about him, but it didn't make sense. I asked if he lost his job, and he denied it. He was new at his job, so no vacations were accumulated. After 10 days, I was very worried, and he said he was looking for a job in my area. I was confused, and he acted like it was normal because we love each other. I asked him to give us both time to think about this thoroughly. He said okay, but didn't move out, and I had to come home to him lounging around all day. He didn't contribute with groceries and got defensive when I asked what he had in mind about rent. I needed time to process. I can't just add a new tenant without telling the administrator, and he hadn't shared anything about any job prospects. After a long and uncomfortable conversation, I said that living on my earnings alone should not be his plan. He had a sour reaction and brought up how I pocket my money in savings every time that I visit out-of-town clients. He said that I was a hypocrite. He also brought up my promise for the scooter and said that I offered as a way to control and bring him closer. We didn't speak for about 2 days until I asked him to leave, and he didn't. He says that I gave up on us too easily and suggested that there may be something else going on, like maybe I'm cheating. At this point, my ability to keep a clear mind has been affected, and I came here to work hard and do the best that I can to move back. So I asked him to leave again because I didn't even have a clear picture of how he plans to support himself, financially. He just laid down with his arm covering his face like I was nagging at him. This is where I might be the asshole. We hadn't formally broken up, but after another fight, I ended up leaving my own place to cool off. I impulsively bought a new lock and had it installed when Mike went for breakfast. I put his bags in the lobby and refused to answer the door when he came back. He said that his key wasn't working, so I told him why and advised about his bags. He tried to talk to me, but I blocked him. I'm already looking for a new place, and I'll move if I find one because I don't want him showing up again. I feel a mix of anger and guilt because it ended badly after we had a lovely connection. His last message said that I weaponized my degree for leverage and that I humiliated him. AITA?